My son and daughter-in-law kept breaking into my apartment, snooping through my things and ignoring every boundary I set. And the morning everything finally clicked began quietly, almost gently, in a way that felt wrong from the second I opened my eyes. The story you are about to hear is a fictional work created by the writing team of the channel Her Pain. It is inspired by real-life situations to convey lessons about family, emotions, and human values. All characters and events are illustrative in nature. My name is Corinne Halley. I am 68 years old. I woke to Milo growling at the bedroom door, a low, uneasy rumble he only makes when something has changed. I tried to soothe him, but he kept staring at the gap beneath the door, as if someone had been standing there. When I stepped into the hallway, the air felt disturbed, as if someone had walked through minutes earlier. I reached the kitchen and stopped. My coffee grounds were not where I left them. The container sat neatly beside the sink, lined up too perfectly, like a stranger had paused to straighten it. I told myself it was age, fatigue, distraction. I tell myself that more often these days than I care to admit. Then I saw the jacket. A windbreaker I had worn 2 days earlier hung over the back of a chair. I never hung it there. I never draped anything on chairs. The habit was drilled out of me decades ago. I picked it up, and the fabric still held a trace of warmth, like someone had touched it just minutes earlier. I could not tell which. Milo patted over and sniffed the fabric, then backed away with a quiet whine. I checked the locks, even though I already knew they were untouched. The door was closed, bolted, perfectly aligned. Everything looked normal, but nothing felt normal. I couldn't prove it yet. But every instinct told me someone had been inside. The sense of intrusion slid under my skin, cold and sharp, something I could not explain away. Someone had been inside my home, and whatever was happening, I could feel it beginning to build towards something I would no longer be able to ignore when the key in my drawer stopped meaning safety and started meaning danger. I called Tyler first. I kept my voice steady, though my hands were trembling. "Were you here yesterday?" I asked. "Inside my apartment?" He did not hesitate. "Yeah, Mom. I stopped by to check on you, without telling me. You did not answer my calls," he said, like it justified everything. "I used the spare key. That's why you gave it to me." I pressed my palm to the counter. "I gave it to you for emergencies." "Well," he said, lowering his voice, "your health is an emergency. You live alone. You forget things. I don't forget things," I said quietly. Jessa's voice floated in from his side before I even knew she was on the call. "Corinne, we're just worried, honestly. Your pantry is a mess. Half the stuff in there is processed junk. I threw out the expired cans." "You're welcome. You threw away my food I saved you from getting sick," she said, like it was a favor. "And your medications were in the wrong place. I moved them next to the fridge so you'll see them more often. I put them where I want them," I said. Jessa let out a small laugh. "Sure, but you're older now. Systems help." "Jessa, that was not your decision to make. Do not touch my food or my medication again," Tyler cut in. "I logged into your electric account, too. Your bill was high. I adjusted the settings. You don't need to worry about that anymore." My chest tightened. "How do you even have my login?" "You left it on the fridge last year when you asked me to help you compare plans. I saved it then. I'm just helping." Helping. That word slid under my skin like a thorn. "Don't use the key again," I said. "Not unless I tell you." There was a pause. Not long, just long enough for both of them to consider ignoring me. Jessa spoke first. "If you would pick up your phone, we wouldn't have to come over," Tyler sighed. "We're doing this because we care. You should be grateful." Milo barked softly at my feet. Sensing the shift inside me, I ended the call, staring at the key in the drawer. The metal felt heavier than it ever had. The boundary I thought existed was gone, and they already believed it belonged to them. Tyler showed up the next afternoon without calling. I heard the lock turning just as I started toward the door, but by the time I got there, he had already stepped inside. Milo stiffened. Ears flat. "Mom, I'm reorganizing your paperwork," he announced as he walked in. "No greeting, no permission, just a statement. My paperwork is fine where it is," I said. He shook his head. "No, it's chaos. I made new folders, taxes, medical, utilities, banking. You've mixed years together. It's confusing." "It's confusing because you touched it," I replied. He did not look up. "I'm trying to keep your life manageable." Jessa came in behind him, her phone already out. She pointed the camera toward my living room. "Oh, wow. This is worse than yesterday," she muttered. "What are you doing?" I asked. "Relax. I'm sending it to the family group chat. Everyone needs to see how much help you really need." Her thumbs flew across the screen. A second later, my phone buzzed with the notification. A photo of my coffee table, a laughing emoji. My voice tightened. "Delete that." She used a sugary tone. "Corinne, it's just family. We're concerned." I swallowed hard, keeping my words measured. "Stop photographing my home." She moved past me toward the kitchen. On the counter sat a package I ordered 2 days earlier, still sealed. Or so I thought. Jessa picked it up and tore it open. "Let's see what you bought." "That's mine," I said, stepping forward. She held up the item. "A new blanket. Isn't this a little old-fashioned?" Her laugh was soft, but sharp enough to cut. Tyler chimed in. "We're only checking if it's safe. You order random stuff online." Milo growled low, pressing against my leg. "I didn't ask for your help," I said quietly. Tyler gave a patronizing smile. "That's the problem, Mom. You should—" When I came home from the grocery store, Milo bolted ahead of me, barking toward the hallway. His nails clicked frantically against the floor. I set the bags down and followed him, my stomach already tightening. The bedroom door was half open. I never leave it that way. Inside, my window latch was flipped up, unlocked. I stood still for a moment, letting the truth settle in my bones. Someone had been here again. My laundry basket, which I left full that morning, now sat neatly folded on the bed. Shirts stacked by color, socks paired, underwear arranged like a display, a level of order I never asked for. I moved to the dresser and saw my receipts ones I kept in an old ceramic bowl, spread out into piles. Grocery, pharmacy, utilities. Someone had gone through each one, touching every part of my life with their hands. A piece of paper sat in the middle of the bed, Jessa's handwriting. The loops were unmistakable. "You really shouldn't live like this." My mouth went dry. Milo whined softly. I walked back into the living room, and that was when I saw it. A tiny black device clipped low behind a stack of books, visible only now that the stack had shifted. No bigger than a thumb. A blinking red light. A camera. I leaned in closer, and a slip of tape on the back read, "For emergencies only. Love, Tyler." I called him immediately. "You put a camera in my home." Tyler answered without hesitation. "Good, you found it. Now I can monitor things if something happens. You filmed my living room without my permission. It's not filming unless something triggers it," he said. "And you need it. You're alone. It's a precaution. It's a violation," I said. He exhaled loudly. "Mom, you're being dramatic. The window was unlocked today. Anyone could break in. You should be glad we're watching out for you. You unlocked it," I said. A pause. "Then if I did, it was because you forget to air things out. Don't twist this." I stared at the camera's red light, blinking like a pulse that wasn't mine. Jessa's note, Tyler's camera, my window, my drawers, my life. I felt something inside me harden, a quiet certainty building under the fear. They weren't going to stop on their own. I called them both and told them to come over. I kept my voice calm because if I let it shake, they'd use that against me. Milo stayed close to my leg as I waited. The moment Tyler stepped inside, he glanced around like he was checking for hazards. Jessa hovered behind him, arms folded, eyes darting to the shelves where the camera used to sit. I removed the device. I said, "And I want my spare key back." Tyler blinked once. Slowly, "Mom, don't start this again. I'm not starting anything. I'm ending it." "The key. Now." Jessa let out a breathy little gasp. "Corinne, please don't do this. We just don't want to bury you like we buried my mother. She fell in her bathroom alone. Do you know what that does to a family that has nothing to do with what you're doing to me?" "It has everything to do with it," she said. "You're at that age where accidents happen." Tyler stepped closer. "This is pride. Mom, you think asking for help means you're weak. You aren't weak. You're older. It's dangerous for you to be alone. I've lived alone for years." He shook his head, but not safely. "Look at last week you left the stove on." "I turned it off." I said. "You think you did." He replied. "You forget things." "I don't forget my own life," I said quietly. Jessa's eyes glossed with tears that appeared too easily. "You're overreacting. All we want is to help you live longer. Why fight us because you opened my packages? You rearranged my medication. You installed a camera. You unlocked my window." Tyler's jaw tightened. "We did those things because you don't understand how unsafe you are. We're trying to save you from yourself." Milo growled softly, the fur along his spine rising. I looked at both of them, two people who claimed to love me while stripping away pieces of my autonomy one intrusion at a time. "I want my key," I said again. "No," Tyler answered. "And if you take it back, you'll just leave us no choice but to keep checking in however we can. This is about safety." Something inside me shifted, then not anger, not fear, but clarity. Their fear mattered more to them than my freedom, and they had no intention of letting go. I hired a locksmith the next morning. A quiet man in his 40s replaced both locks in less than an hour. Milo sat beside me the whole time, ears alert, as if he finally felt something settling back into place. When the new keys were in my hand, I exhaled for the first time in days. By late afternoon, the pounding started. Tyler's fist hit the door so hard the frame rattled. "Mom, open up." Right now I stayed where I was, sitting on the couch with Milo trembling against my leg. "I know you changed the locks," he shouted. "You think that's funny? You think you can shut us out?" His voice cracked with something like rage or fear. I did not answer. "Mom, open this door." Jessa's voice chimed in, sharp. "This is dangerous." "Corinne, you're not thinking clearly." I heard her phone dialing. 5 minutes later, my landlord called. "Corinne." "Hi, this is Mr. Ralston. Is everything all right?" My stomach dropped. "Yes, why wouldn't it be?" He cleared his throat. "Why, your daughter-in-law called the office claiming you might be unsafe. I told her we couldn't intervene without confirming with you first. So I'm calling to check in." I closed my eyes. "I'm fine." "Thomas." She sounded very concerned. He said gently, "She said you've been confused. Leaving windows open, misplacing things. I'm not confused." I said, "I didn't misplace anything." My son and his wife entered my home without permission. A long pause. "I didn't know that. They're outside right now," I said, banging on my door. He hesitated before answering. "If you want, I can call security." "No, I'll handle it." I hung up and waited. The pounding slowed, then stopped, replaced by muffled voices. No more arguments. No more begging for boundaries. I needed distance they could not cross. I searched rentals across Portland until a listing caught my eye. A building in the Pearl District with a doorman, a keycard elevator, and a strict guest log policy. Safety built into every step of the entrance. Privacy protected by procedure, not trust. The next morning, I toured it. The lobby felt calm. The front desk attendant alert, and most importantly, in control of who entered. When he asked for my ID to register as a visitor, relief washed through me. This was what I needed. I'd like to sign the lease, I said. He smiled politely. We can have you moved in as early as Friday. I nodded. Friday is perfect. I didn't tell Tyler's sister. I didn't tell neighbors. I didn't tell a soul. Every person who knew anything about my building could accidentally lead them back to me. Silence was protection now. That afternoon, I opened my closet and pulled out the first box. Milo watched from the hallway, head tilted. Sensing the shift, I packed slowly 2 sweaters, a stack of books, framed photos I still cared about. The rhythm steadied me. Each item I wrapped felt like reclaiming a piece of myself they'd tried to manage. When I sealed the first box with tape, the sound echoed through the apartment. It didn't feel sad. It felt final. This place didn't belong to me anymore. And I wasn't going to wait for them to force their way in again. They found out on Saturday morning. I knew because my phone lit up with 7 missed calls in the span of 10 minutes while I was brushing Milo's fur in my new kitchen. I didn't answer. I didn't even listen. By noon, the calls doubled. By evening, they tripled. I put the phone face down and made tea. On Sunday, the real panic began. At 8 in the morning, Tyler's voice blasted through my voicemail before I could silence it. Mom? Mom? Where are you? Your door wouldn't open with my key, and everything inside is gone. Call me back. Please. 10 minutes later, Jess's tears came through the next voicemail. Corinne. This isn't funny. We thought something happened. Just tell us you're safe. 30 minutes after that, anger replaced fear. Mom, this is cruel. Tyler snapped in a message. You can't disappear like this. You can't do this to us. I put down my mug and watched Milo curl up beside me, quietly gnawing his toy. The room was peaceful. The kind of peaceful they had stolen from me for months. By noon, the number climbed to 26 missed calls. I turned off the sound. Late that afternoon, Rachel texted me. They just showed up at your old place. They asked if anyone saw you. They're freaking out. I typed back. Thank you for letting me know. Don't tell them anything, she replied. Of course. They're the reason you had to leave. The next morning, Sunday, they escalated. Tyler called hospitals. I knew because I received 3 separate voicemails asking if I had been admitted under a different name. Then he called the police. A voicemail from an officer came through at 2 in the afternoon. He told us he hadn't heard from you for 2 days and was worried. Just call him so he knows you're okay. I deleted it. By Sunday night, the total number of missed calls hit 42. Jess's last message was the one that told me everything I needed to know. Corinne, if you're choosing to hurt us like this, I don't know how to move forward. You're being selfish. Selfish. The same word they used when they took my space, my privacy, my safety. Milo lifted his head when I finally powered off the phone completely. I scratched behind his ears, my chest loosening in a way I hadn't felt in months. Their panic didn't touch me. Not anymore. Letting them feel the emptiness they had forced on me wasn't vengeance. It was balance. I turned my phone back on Monday morning. It buzzed nonstop, more missed calls, more messages, but I ignored all of them except the last one. Tyler sent call us, now. So I did. He answered on the first ring. Mom, where are you? What is going on? I'm safe, I said. That's all you need to know right now. Jess's voice cut in immediately. Corinne, you scared us half to death. You can't just vanish. I didn't vanish. I said, I moved. And I moved because you broke into my home again. You lied to my landlord. You put a camera in my living room. You treated me like property, not a person. That's not fair. Tyler snapped. We were trying to protect you. No. I replied. You were trying to control me. Silence. Heavy, offended silence. I continued, steady and slow. Here are the rules moving forward. You don't get access to my home. We meet in public places if I agree to meet. You stay out of my finances and every account with my name on it, and we communicate only by text or email. Jessa inhaled sharply. You're punishing us. I'm protecting myself. Tyler's tone hardened. Why didn't you tell us you were moving? We thought something terrible happened. Then give me your new address. At least let me know where you are. No, Mom. When you're ready to respect me, I said, not manage me, not monitor me, not override me, then we can talk again. And if either of you violates these boundaries again, I will take legal action. This is not a discussion. I ended the call before either of them could argue. I set the phone down on the table beside my balcony chair. Milo hopped onto my lap, circling twice before settling. Warm and steady against my ribs, for the first time in months. My heartbeat felt like it belonged to me. I watched the city hum below, quiet from a distance. Freedom didn't feel dramatic. It felt simple, solid, earned. I thought about the past months, the fear, the intrusion, the disbelief that my own family could cross such lines. And I realized something I wish I'd learned years earlier. Love without respect is not love. It's possession. And boundaries are not walls. They are doors with locks that keep you safe. If you've lived something similar, or if you're rebuilding your peace tap, like leave a comment or subscribe for more stories that remind you you're not alone. If you had one chance to rebuild your life on your own terms, what boundaries would you finally protect?